He is a representative of the whole Sweet Potato Nation, okay?
No, I think they're holding him hostage.
No.
I think it's a cry for help. I think it's a cry for help, personally.
Put respect
and I'm there. I'm there for you,
Sweet Potato, greater than potato. I don't even want to hear it.
Oh my God, Tolly, we're not going to be able to get through this game unless you drop the Sweet Potato thing because I can't move on from it because I hate sweet potatoes that much, okay?
All I'm saying is you can drop it first.
Just conform. I literally did drop it. I tried to move on, and you had to go back into it.
You're in the darkness. Let us show you the light of the sweet potato.
It is a false light, Tolly. They aren't even potatoes. They're yams. Like, if they just called themselves yams, I'm not getting baited by this. Odin Agni bans here from Strictly Business. Again, the Poseidon ban away from Logically, despite how well he played on the Giannis. But I do like the switch up towards the Agni. Major Stacks was too much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think the Agni, if you're not going to confirm it yourself, I think Strictly Business do a good idea to take that away. The question is, where do they go next? Athena is available. That should be the defender of Olympus. Look for Robin this early.
Lil Tony was not doing well last game, and so if this is his best god and has the best opportunity to make a better impact, I don't have a problem with it. It does worry me, though, whenever you see a player have a tough game and then you give them a top pick the game after that, are you just trying to shore up a weak link on your side and then you end up giving away a priority pick anyways? Seems a little bit scary, but at the same time, we've seen Lil Tony have good performances before, so maybe this Robin is all he needs.
I'll get Discordia is going to be the selection. A little bit of aggression on the Discordia side. Geb on the more defensive front. Looking for a lot of team fight control. Geb, notorious for engagements with the Blink Cataclysm, knock-up Discordia, can easily look for the patient two-player strife afterwards.
Athena, there, all the way down to third, makes it way past. If you're gonna get it anyways, why first pick it? I suppose. Love Strictly Business's first 3 picks. I think that they work very well together. You can be very aggressive, but in order to match that aggression, Coalition decides to go for the Erlong Shen. We've seen more and more Erlong solo as of late, which is certainly fine, but I still feel like Erlong is at home in the jungle.
I still think Osiris and Bologna is just better basic attackers than Erlong at the end of the day, and the combination of Osiris with the Robin should give Strictly Business some solo side pressure if they wanted to look for some blue buff invades.
A couple mage bans here from Coalition, Opwash and Zeus, to try and stop any sort of follow-up off of that Athena taunt. That takes a total of 4 mid laners off the board between that and Strictly Business. Agni ban as well. +5 if you count the Discordia that Coalition's already gone for. So you wonder where Logically is going to go. Does he go back to the Giannis?
It could be, considering that they already have Athena for Defender of Olympus. You could do some really sneaky things with portaling someone into the action that has Defender of Olympus to get in the thick of things.
Sure.
Get some more mobility, but going for a different route this time.
Could be Soul in the mid lane, though we still have their pick to wait on, so maybe they will go back to that Giannis as well. Would bail Logically out of those bad spots he found himself in at times, but we'll see which way he's going to go. Ullr, the final selection, means that Soul and Ullr can kind of go wherever you want them to. Heartseeker is a part of this patch that we're playing on now, so is playable, and Ullr certainly is one that can make it work. Excited to see if that's where he ends up going. But Cucullin rounds out the draft for Cucullin. And who do you think has won this drafting phase and will win Game 2? Coalition looking to find their second 2-0 against Strictly Business in this fall.
It's all about how the laning phase goes, because I'm looking at teamfights specifically, and I always love the Athena. The dash taunts, it's not like a Blink Cataclysm where Geb's cooldowns are much longer for the engagements than in Athena, so there might be some more jungle opportunities for Strictly Business. But then, outside of that control factor, I look at Robin Osiris. If they don't get off to an early start, I worry about their late game potential.
Certainly agree with you. I don't know. I'll hold that thought. Nice axe there from Logically, and Major Stacks has already used the Purification Beats. Blink from Lil Tony as well. Major Stacks getting on the edge, but Dragon Knight able to get the finishing blow and set themselves up for a speed buff invade, though. Looks like Sweet Potato very aware of what's going on. Will head towards the enemy speed himself.
Rough stuff, honestly, because normally at level 1, what you want to do is save an ability point in case you get in trouble just like that. Being able to not save your ability point because you wanted to help with the speed buff means an early first blood, and you give up your beads. Things are looking really bad for Coalition.
Well, I just don't understand why Major Stacks is there at all. I mean, I understand not being willing to get your 3 at level 1 because if you get your 3 and die, you're just so far behind. SmiteVOD trying to invade here, but logically able to switch stance and secure the red. SmiteVOD should fall here. Stellar Burst, a zoning tool, as we all are aware, as Forger Vulcan takes it with the reach. Now on the right-hand side, Beaudilla being ganked by Lil Tony, but it's Lil Tony! It was a prank, dude! Let me go! Indeed, Dragon Knight's able to get the kill, but man, that was closer than Lil Tony was really ready for.
Man, there's something about these teams that lose game number 1, that come out swinging in game number 2. Coalition still in trouble even in the dual lane, despite getting the purple buff, taking a whole lot of damage. Is strategic, sitting at level 2. This Geb still holding on to his shell. I like that patience coming out of him. Maybe his Hunter would eventually get into trouble. Logically, missing the axe takes way more damage in return.
Now blink forward from SmiteVOD, but SmiteVOD just now hits on to level 2. Beads won't help you against the Mink, my friend. SmiteVOD able to get the first kill for Coalition in this game 2. Good aggression out of SmiteVOD, but really it's logically just overstepping.
Both teams making a lot of plays happen. Blue buff stripped away. That Coalition was able to take the blink from SmiteVOD. Despite 3 early kills for Strictly Business, Coalition answer back, and we have 4 kills in 2 minutes into the game here, Aggro. Both of these teams not afraid to play with fire.
I do really like this Discordia selection. Playing against Ullr in the mid lane can be a nightmare. When you go up against a really proficient one, you're going to be poked out all the time. He's always going to be positioning aggressively. But in this game in particular, in this matchup, Discordia could get herself out of sticky situations without being particularly readable. Dodging the axe easily with a low cooldown is pretty important. Erratic behavior does that. And your turnaround potential is phenomenal. If you root the Ullr who's in bow stance, close range, you can end up ulting them before they can switch to jump away. You got great kill potential on the rebound. So I really do like this matchup, but it was Major Stacks who picked Discordia first. Feels like logically picked one of the few lane matchups that Ullr isn't totally dominant.
I agree with you, but at the same time, even Hail of Arrows from a distance is good poke opportunity logically with a stun. Goes back into the bow stance just to jump away, narrowly avoiding that strife as Lil Tony thought his red buff was getting invaded, and that's why you saw that blink there. But outside of the Hail of Arrows poke potential, just a straight up Hunter, physical Hunter versus magical mage in the mid lane. If you're just trading basic attack for basic attack, you remove any abilities from the game, that'll go Ullr all day.
Of course it will. Strategic taunted again on this left-hand side. Lil Tony has maintained the lead from that early start. SmiteVOD was very, very far behind. It was that kill in mid that keeps him even close to relevant in this one, but still sitting only on boots 2. Lil Tony now finishing his Warrior Tabi. And the Erlong, once it falls behind, feels a lot worse than when it's ahead.
Oh, absolutely. But looking at outside of the Warrior Tabi completed from Lil Tony, Dragon Knight has finished off that Berserker shield, so he should be in a good spot up against Beaudilla, as his teleport's also available, so he can definitely back and get his own power spike play of the boots over Beaudilla, because that first blood bounty went to the Osiris solo.
Oh, SmiteVOD in a lot of trouble. Ultimate for Peel there by Beaudilla, and SmiteVOD's able to juke out the overhead kick. Did Apple a little bit late. Lil Tony does end up dying, but ultimately able to secure that kill. Very close though to SmiteVOD surviving.
1 for 1 at the end of the day. It allows more of a catch-up for SmiteVOD, considering, but unless the speed buff gets taken away, and it does, oh, that's gotta hurt if you're SmiteVOD.
Forger Vulcan goes back to pick it up. Blink in from SmiteVOD, has the ultimate this time, taunts in Forger Vulcan as well, double Cataclysm, but Vulcan not receiving a whole lot of damage. Dragon Knight frontlining beautifully as well, but SmiteVOD not willing to give up the chase quite yet. Dragon Knight has Lord of the Afterlife available. It now needs to use
after the strife, but logically, without a jump, Salmon Leap, logically is gonna fall here. Good plays from Beaudilla.
Beaudilla, great on this. Cullen, another good rotation from him. He played well in the last game. This Cullen certainly a comfort pick.
A missed play opportunity here. Coalition loses the speed buff, but Forger Vulcan, too greedy, goes back in to pick up the speed buff. Even though he's not the one that dies, you lose even a worse target. Your mid laner. Now, granted, it's not a mage, but a physical hunter such as Uller certainly needs farm, especially when rushing Transcendence. Every second you're spent dead is a second you are not farming stacks.
Exactly right. That Transcendence rush really does mean that he can't run away from that fight nearly as easily as Dragon Knight.
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's dead to rights there. He didn't have Lord of the Afterlife up and available. Good timing from Beaudilla to use that spinning spear ultimate to be able to avoid the stun from the tether.
That's no spinning spear to you, Anatoly. That's the spear of immortal pain. Can you that is so heavy. Like there is no, oh, it's just my spear of mortal pain. Like
yeah, but they're all gods. They're not mortals.
Yeah, but all the pain of being immortal, like when you're laying in bed and you have the phone above your face and then you drop it and you feel like you're gonna die, that is built into this spear. That moment where you eat Popeye spicy tenders halfway through your workday and realize that was probably a mistake, that pain is there. Like, that's being immortal.
I feel like you're speaking from personal experience.
Nah, not me. I just feel like there's a lot more pain involved with being amortal than being immortal.
And because these guys can't feel the pain, so once they feel that mortal pain, they're like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. They're not used to it. You know what I mean? That's even scarier. So put some respect.
So I've never had that phone thing happen to me.
Are you kidding me?
I've seriously never had that happen to me. But I pictured it in my mind, and that actually frightened me. Especially because you made the visualization.
Yeah, you're laying there, it's like right above your face, and then it like slips. You just feel like you're dead.
And you probably try to juke it, but you actually makes it hurt more because you turn to the side and it hits your temple instead.
Red buff invade, double taunt nicely there by Forger Vulcan, straight into the Mystic Rush from Lil Tony, but the focus is onto Logically. He delivers the apple to Tony and ultimately falls himself. Red buff does go down in favor of Strictly Business, but Coalition able to trade 1-for-1 mid for support. Logically has been the sacrificial lamb more often than he would really like.
Man, it was such a great start for Strictly Business. They had a 3-0 run in lead, but Coalition able to get the next 5 kills, only giving up 2 in return, and are basically back in this game. The goal differential only 200, but the experience going the way of Coalition ever so slightly.
Specifically in the solo lane. Beaudilla level 10 over Dragon Knight's level 8. Even right there, as SweetPatato is 72 transformationing, that's a good verb, underneath the tier 2 tower in between the Phoenix, Beaudilla's rotating in to make sure he's there to strip away the XP harpies and ensure that his jungler is out of danger. Beaudilla has been very impressive so far.
And considering that Dragon Knight was the one with the first blood bounty, and he was 2-0 at one point in the game, Beaudilla was still able to build that lead because of that later kill. After Dragon Knight got a little bit too frisky, had to use Lord of the Afterlife to get away, Logically fell because of Forger Vulcan picking up that speed buff. It's all a trickle-down effect from one unforeseen set of circumstances.
And unlike economics, the trickle-down here actually works. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. Gold Fury is up and available for either of these teams, and you expect that Strictly Business would be the team that can burn it a little bit more speed, just because they've got Soul and Uller as Beaudilla. Invade speed by himself. No help necessary. He'll get taunted, but Logically he's a little level 9 Uller, and Beaudilla's like, bring it on, my dudes. I would love to fight this 2v1.
Oh boy. Just a lot of pressure from this Kakol, and really paying dividends for Coalition now as we're approaching the 10-minute mark of the game. So many buff invades from both sides, honestly, back and forth. Lil Tony receiving that ultimate, but not going to use it for damage.
Strategic, the only one taunted in. Mystic Rush committed as Cataclysm there in response. Tony falling very, very low.
Oh, the strike, one basic!
Auto can't connect for major stacks.
Hail of Arrows almost took out Strategic. This game is a barn burner.
Always is. Major Stacks level 9 right up against Logically again, but still was not able to bring down the enemy jungler. But even still, it seems like Coalition is willing to trade their support really well as Logically finds out in time that he's in trouble. Knock up there onto Forger Vulcan. Forger Vulcan knows that he's in trouble. Major Stack's able to get that kill. Is that on Forger Vulcan for walking in that way, or is that on Logically for positioning that aggressively?
A little bit of both, honestly. Considering Logically has already 3 deaths, he needs to stop. Somebody needs to push that red button on him and just like eject him out of his aggressive mindset and wait for engagements. When you have an Athena for Forger Vulcan, he needs to play setup, man. And the Uller has plenty of distance on his abilities to allow that to naturally develop.
Sure, but at the end of the day, I mean, where is the follow-up from the Strictly Business composition off Phoenixon? I mean,
Uller damage?
Uller, sure, but it's mostly single target, and it's not that much compared. You would compare that to a Scylla Root Crush,
sure,
Poseidon Whirlpool Title Surge. I just don't love Athena in a composition like this, where you're if you aren't taunting someone without beads and they are guaranteed dead, why are you picking Athena?
So I agree that obviously that's not the most AoE damage in the world, but granted, Athenas don't get off many more double taunts or triple taunts throughout the course of a game. Maybe you'll get 2 double taunts and 1 triple taunt if you're fortunate enough. Most of them are picking one player and getting out of dodge afterwards. And that could certainly be success if Logically is within position. He's building a lot of physical power with the Transcendence, now working on a Soul Leader.
Especially just for tanks, I don't know. I need someone who can kill tanks off an Athena taunt every time.
Okay.
And Uller, even at this point, can no longer do that. Really cannot kill off one Athena taunt very easily. Cbeaarr's beads are down. He used them off the taunt earlier on. And little Tony here and shows Cbeaarr the hands. Airstrike not in time. Nice kill, but look at this rotation. Major Stacks in position.
Goes up and down. Defender of Olympus, not enough to save it. Now Forger Vulcan's in trouble.
No good deed goes unpunished for a support. Logically's here. Full combo does about a quarter of Strategic's health. As SweetPatato not done with this fight. Links forward. Pin there as well. Knockup guarantees it. And he's safe and sound.
Beaudilla was thinking about maybe looking for the blink. I agree with you. The damage was not as high as the typical mage would be. Only about 2.5 items deep currently for Logically. But man, every single time Strictly Business get a kill, they lose 1 in response. This time they lose 2 because of a very offensive tower dive.
Dragon Knight. There's no way that Geb's there by himself, like, ever. Nice axe coming from Logically, but SweetPatato, the slowest turtle, shoots away. That's what it feels like to drop your phone on your face. SweetPatato ends up getting the kill somehow still, but Beaudilla's ultimate was really there to get the job done. I'm telling you, man, lay on your back tonight.
No, I don't want to
Hold your
experience
phone
the
above your
pain of a
face.
phone on my face, aggro.
It'll happen. It's really not so much the actual pain of it hitting your face, but it's like the shock of it's going to happen, you know?
And you can't do anything
The
about
bark
it.
is truly worse than the bite in that sense. But it's really scary.
Why are you... Well, luckily for me, I'm a side sleeper.
Same.
So, wait, then why have you experienced that?
Well, I'm laying it, I'm not sleeping. I'm there with my phone, like, chilling. Maybe when I wake up in the morning.
Well, then why don't you, like, position your pillow so that you're actually, like, a little bent on the neck?
Okay.
So that way your phone is not directly above your face, and there is no threat of it falling on your face.
Anatoly, that would require that I sit up, put my hand behind my head to maneuver my pillow. That's a lot of effort, my guy. I'm just trying to lay in bed and read my phone, you know? I'm just trying to look at memes in the morning and not worry about what I'm doing yet. That's key. And if it requires me to have a near-death experience every once in a while, so be it.
Now, the things we do
Seriously.
to be lazy.
No gold.
That's a lot of effort
yet.
to move your pillow.
It is. I'm telling you, man.
Uh-oh. Very minimal amount of effort to kill little Tony, potentially. Mystic rushing over the wall. Golden Apple being used just for the burst damage. And without this Robin here, Coalition are looking to start the gold.
Beaudilla is not here. He's on the rotation over. He's a big part of Coalition's lead, but they don't seem to turn. Roll forward from Strategic and good disengage from Strictly Business. Dylan already down below a half HP. This is bot Beaudilla time to join up on this fight. Knock up onto 2. Logically, the focus. He gets in there, but can't quite steal it away. Coalition get the gold. Fury logically on the run from Beaudilla. He'll be forced back by Lil Tony, but Dragon Knight right into his waiting arms. It's strictly business on the escape path.
No ultimate for Dragon Knight, looking for the root, misses
no.
onto Lil Tony. I thought for sure the target was going to be Dragon Knight, but surviving at the end of the day, Coalition still gets the goal, Fury, and logically he's playing as if he's still in game number 1 as a Giannis.
I'll give it to him. The name really works against his pathing a lot of the time. I just have no idea where he's going, and I think the enemies would have similar problems. Coalition tries to siege to tier 1 in mid, but unsuccessful. Cbeaarr, not quite enough farm to get it done. Logically has made his way all the way to the right-hand side and gets the tier 1 tower, but now sticks around for the subsequent wave. Meets up with SweetPatato, good axe, but no cooldowns after the fact. It's Nick form. Enough to close the gap. Fatalis effect, but Dragon Knight is there to shut it down. Logically gets out scot-free. Lil Tony, nice little sidestep on the apple. Coalition only lose their jungler. Strictly business able to walk away with the tower in tow.
Little bit of Barra backstep to avoid that apple. Wants to not keep the doctor away, apparently.
But no, that was the Shing Shuffle.
The Shing Shuffle.
It was
what
more lateral.
What about the Tully Tussle?
Tussling isn't the same as any of those things.
It's a form of movement.
No, I don't think a tussle's a form of movement. It's like a
when you're tussling with someone,
right? You're fighting them.
It could be like a fun little tussle, though.
I mean, you and I could stand still and tussle.
Yeah, sure.
Which means it isn't a form of movement.
We're moving our arms. Like, doesn't mean we have to be like actually moving from point A to point B.
So the Tully tussle is when you just like keep your legs in place and
no, I'm just saying that you don't
back and forth.
You could still be moving without moving.
Tully, if you really want like a movement moniker, if you will, I think we could come up with something better than Tully tussle.
I heard tussle and I just like, okay.
The Tully tiptoe.
The Tully tiptoe.
When you sneak around a ward and get the gank in.
Just like all sneaky deaky like?
Yeah, the Tully tiptoe.
Sure.
We'll work it in. We'll try it out a little bit later.
I'll think about it.
MySweetPatato Tully tiptoes into lane, right with the blink, right on top of MysteriousDylan. He's in some trouble. It has both relics. Uses the beads a little bit too late. And the ultimate guarantees the kill for SweetPatato. Logically on over to that left-hand side. He jumps up and over the wall, but can't do enough to save the tower. Cbeaarr's beads on cooldown. Looks like he got axed. Certainly not deterring him. Sprint used by Forger Vulcan. Axe off the mark that time around. It's great autos coming from Cbeaarr, but now he needs the airstrike away. Lil Tony able to totally tiptoe his way into lane. Thoughts?
We're going to keep working on it.
Okay.
But Coalition finding the 1 kill thus far. No real objective on the left side of the map to take outside of that tier 2 still standing. They're not feeling too confident about that one.
I got it. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to slide it in.
You can't leave me hanging.
I'm going to slide it into this next play-by-play. All right?
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. We'll wait. Leave the suspense for the fans out at home.
I really hope I don't forget it. That would be really embarrassing.
Coalition up 3,500
I feel like I need
gold.
to write it down.
19 minutes in.
Could decide to pull this Pyromancer. Logically only level 14, though. Has finished off the Soul Eater, so gives himself some CDR, some power, now some sustain alongside, but still feels like he's just not going to end up being able to bring as much as major stacks. So you take a look at the player damage charts, logically top of his team, second in the game so far.
Well, he is very aggressive, almost to a fault, considering he already has 3 deaths. I don't know if that player damage warrants that kind of score line, but at the end of the day, I think the game plan needs to be the Athena setup yet again. Forger Vulcan doing a decent job thus far, peeling for his teammates, but I want to see some more aggressive tactics from this Athena.
Would you say that you would like to see some more Alexeyanok attacks? That was my one. I couldn't hold it for much longer. I was gonna forget it, dude.
Probably should have wrote it down.
It's the Alexeyanok attack. Like when you blink in and really
Why
get
has it
on
gotta be my
top of
last
someone.
name? Why not my first name?
Because I don't know, it just has a little bit more gravitas to it that way.
Sure.
I mean, plus it'll get more people to say your last name. That's brand recognition. You just go by Anatoly all the time.
So I gotta get my last name in there somehow.
Anatoly Alexeyanok is a really cool name. that definitely does not get enough credit.
No, because it's a very long name, and whenever I'm on the phone with my bank teller, then what I have to do is slow it down so much because the last 2 letters are okay. And when I say okay, they think I'm done spelling my last name, so I have to specify last 2 letters, okay. In Starbucks, I don't even tell them my real name. I just say Andrew. And they still spell it wrong.
The Andrew attack now on the gold. No, I just don't like it. Gold Fury down below, half HP. Dragon Knight looping around the back. Big Cataclysm is strictly business. Still able to secure the objective, and the retreat is good. Man, this set, there have been so many big fights around objectives, and there hasn't been a single steal yet. And whatever team starts it has somehow miraculously been able to finish it.
It's wild between these 2 teams. We're only in game number 2, 21 minutes in. It's not that much of a lead for Coalition, but they feel it is in a 5-on-5 to start up the Fire Giants.
They knew Logically and Dylan were low and had to back, so they get it started. Taunt onto Dragon Knight, knock up, and the apple. A lot committed onto this Osiris, and he barely drops below half HP.
He already had a lot of defense between his passive all the way up, even before Lord of the Afterlife, but he goes back in!
Dragon Knight eviscerated by Cbeaarr. Dylan has to use the Disapparate, rather, excuse me, blink forward by SweetPatato, looking to cut off the escape. Good beads from Dylan as Coalition has gotten off of the Fire Giant, but they're still looking for the fight.
They definitely want it. They saw Logically jump into these back camps, so they're looking for him if they could find him, but a little bit too far away. Now coming back into the thick of things is Forger Vulcan. Not going to use that ultimate offensively quite yet. Really fearful that a Coalition would have started that Fire Giant, which was surprising that they wanted to. They only had about a 3,000 gold lead, 5,500 experience. It was a 5-on-5. You did mention there were 2 members low, but even in a 5-on-3, you don't have that much DPS this early in the game to just burn it for free.
Logically, again, split pushes down a tier 1 tower when left alone a little bit too long.
My man has no fear.
None whatsoever. Rewarded that time for it and survived the last time as well.
What do you think he's going to do right now?
Probably going to Alexeyanok attack this left tier 1. There it is, dude. He got it. All right, Toli, what's your middle name? Should I work with that? Is it a good one for a little...
It's Alexandrovich.
Are you serious? That's awesome.
It's my father's name. And
Triple A, dude. Yeah. How did I not know this until now? Okay, we'll get to it later. Fire Giant low, but Coalition able to get it again. The team that starts the objective is able to secure. And again, strictly business has to get on the run. Dragon Knight kind of left for the Wolves. And indeed, he will be dinner. Beaudilla feasting on his 4th kill. SweetPatato doing what he can in the mid lane, but logically forcing him back pretty nicely. Coalition sneaks away a Fire Giant.
They just can't be stopped at all. Now barreling their way down the tier 2 mid tower. Who needs minion waves? Not I, says Coalition. And they could be continuing on for this middle Phoenix instead of going for the side lanes.
They're pretty healthy here, but they have no ultimates whatsoever. Certainly a bit scary when facing down Supernova from MysteriousDylan in particular. Phoenix down to about half, Beaudilla lower than that, but a great Gem Shield coming from Strategic keeps him up and healthy enough. Phoenix goes down, Beaudilla getting lower as well. Dylan does manage to confirm it's a double for MysteriousDylan with the Supernova. Both the right side members from Coalition removed forcibly from the fight, and logically keeps on going. Good beads from Major Stacks just in case, but Axe is a little bit off the mark.
Oh, logically he's not done yet. He wants Major Stacks so badly. No beads on him, so if he hits this Axe, this should be a kill. Missing it off the mark. The defensive Cataclysm will continue to allow Major Stacks to survive.
Logically continues to keep going forward still, despite Major Stacks being pretty healthy. Erratic behavior will put him in a great spot to turn this back around. Cbeaarr is able to rapid reincarnation right back into the fight, but logically still manages to skirt towards the mid lane. Tier 2 tower had just fallen there for the rest of the team. Strategic baited in, taunted, brought low, but Gem Shield still solid. This apple could end up doing great work. That's spread so logically, and he's gonna have to go see the doctor indeed. Major Stacks able to get the kill with help from Forger Vulcan. It's an absolute disaster. Someone call AAA, because Strictly Business needs some roadside assistance.
Oh my God, that was so freaking good. I'll give you that one. MysteriousDylan could be the third death now after their over-ambitious attempts. But the lifesteal from Dylan, it's not enough because of the CC knockup. SweetPatato gets that kill. And without a middle Phoenix, 3 members are positioning like they want to try to go for the Titan, but then they have 2 other members on the right side of the map.
SweetPatato needs to be careful that tower doesn't reset to him, but Cbeaarr, no care in the world. He's dashing forward. Lil Tony has the Mystic Rush into the fountain. You're right, Coalition very spread out right now on what the call seems to be, and they might not get a whole lot done because of it. Tier 2 will go down without a doubt, but that seems like it could be it. Pyromancer on the back end.
Possibly. They still had Fire Giant for 1 minute. Took a little bit longer than they wanted to, but there was no realistic ending opportunity for them, even if all 5 members were down that mid lane. Unless they managed to kill both Lil Tony and Forger Vulcan. Coalition started off the game in a negative state. They were down 0-3, strictly business on the up and up, but now Coalition are in complete control.
8,000 gold in the lead. Will go down a bit. Gold Fury is secured by Strictly Business. SB still looking like a team that has a little bit to learn. They haven't had the season that they really wanted to coming in. They had some veteran players. Seems they've made some roster switch-ups, but hasn't found themselves quite as much success as they would have liked. It's now down 15-9 in kills. Mid Phoenix is coming up soon, but so is the Fire Giant.
Oh, yeah. Both of these teams need to find some victories over In Control specifically. The team that still is undefeated in the North American PlayStation League, and it's up to the #1 seed to get their placement opportunity to go towards HRX. It's a long journey for all 4 teams.
Beaudilla pokes his head in and says, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Tier 2 was already so weakened by the minion wave, so Coalition end up wiping the map of all the towers, and now we're setting up around the Fire Giant, though Strictly Business is looking for Beaudilla, Axe, and Athena ultimate here for Logically, as they're going to try and get this solo laner put down. His ultimate already on cooldown. Lord of the Afterlife committed as well. Big Mantle of Discord stun, though, from Beaudilla, and he's about to transform. Great war cry right on top, and he's looking to bring down someone with him, but Logically does end up getting that final blow. All the while, Coalition hanging out on this right-hand side.
Whether it's Logically that goes for split pushing opportunities, or whether it's Beaudilla, I think there's something to be learned from all these split pushing opportunities, especially this late in the game, because you get Fire Giant, you get that tower for free at the end of the day anyway. But finding the kill allows Strictly Business to at least delay Coalition from sieging this middle Phoenix. If a 5-on-4 without Beaudilla, increases the chances of Strictly Business.
I just don't understand why Coalition is sitting around Fire Giant reading bedtime stories when they see 4 people, 5 people on the left side of the map. Mid Phoenix was about to respawn. You just send 2 people there, they'd knock it down easily and have no threat of dying, especially with Athena ult already being down.
Yeah. I mean, all right, Beaudilla comes up in 5 seconds. They still have Fire Giant buff for 3 minutes and 15 seconds basically total.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to do whatever they want. Even if there is no Fire Giant buff for Beaudilla, he still could call him. Did you see how long it took 4 members to kill him? I still think Beaudilla would have actually survived if he just ran away after the transformation, considering you have a charge away and a CC immune ultimate, and Vent Anger constantly tinking, increasing your movement speed. He had to get away long enough to be out of combat for 3 seconds to blink away. Maybe he survives.
Could be. Either way, now he doesn't have Fire Giant, but the rest of Coalition certainly does. They're going to try again for this mid Phoenix, but this time it should be a bit harder, as Forger Vulcan has picked up an Emperor's armor to boost that attack speed of his friendly defensive structures, except for the Titan. Can you imagine if the Titan got an extra attack speed from, like, Shogun's Cbeaarr, an Emperor's armor?
Oof.
You could frenzy your own Titan. That'd be awesome.
No, please.
That'd be cool.
I mean, then you would have to kind of do...
What if you could Fafnir coerce your own Titan?
Well, then you would have to be able to Horrific Emblem it, right? And then you would...
No, you could only buff it.
What if... No. You gotta do both. Balance, aggro. Have you learned nothing from all those meetings?
Clearly not. Mid Phoenix standing a little bit over half as strategic blinks forward. Beads used by Logically, but immediately the Warriors right on top of him, and he eats the apple indeed. Beaudilla is able to get the finishing blow, and it's an absolute bloodbath. Coalition ripping through Strictly Business. Mid Phoenix already dead, and other Phoenixes be damned. They're going right for the Titan. Big taunt from Forger Vulcan, but Beaudilla still able to bring down Lil Tony. Coalition looking to 2-0 Strictly Business here, and indeed they do. 30 minutes for game 2, but Coalition get it done.
Just like week 1, history has repeated itself. Coalition walk away with another clean victory, wanting to catch up to In Control, the true #1 team in the PlayStation 4 North American League.
Coalition looks pretty good today. Strictly Business did have some moments where they looked like they could still contend ultimately, but still Coalition just ended up being a little bit better. What do you think that Strictly Business really need to work on moving forward?
I think they didn't utilize Fortune Vulcan's Athena effectively for poking and prodding with the Uller, specifically from Logically. He was doing his own thing, too much in the front line, considering that he was playing the Giannis game 1. I like that idea, but at the Uller in game 2, it's a different play style. You got to switch things up based on the situation.
I also think it comes back to the draft. Like I said, I just don't love gods like Uller and Soul alongside Athena. It's not that big payoff.
Sure.
For hitting that Athena taunt, even on the frontliners. I agree with you. I thought the Athena taunts weren't really working, but it wasn't, I don't think, target selection from Forger Vulcan. It was the draft as a whole. Feels like Strictly Business still needs a little bit of work there. Whereas Coalition, on the other hand, were able to bounce back nicely after a bad start. Their objective focus seems to be pretty good. They just seem to need to be able to pick it up a little bit sooner on in the game.
And on top of that, the first pick, Robin, you would think they would play aggressive with that, paired up with the Osiris in the solo lane.
Sure.
Considering that Osiris got first blood on that early level 1 gathering, really shutting down the Discordia, they never really leaned in that lane to be able to strip away blue buffs.
Exactly. It just ended up being a pretty free lane over there for Beaudilla. His Kakullan was phenomenal all game long. Wouldn't blame you at all if that was your MVP vote in that game. He played very, very well from the outset and was able to really set the tone on that right-hand side, kind of allow SweetPatato to come back after that rough start.
And despite Beaudilla falling, 2 minutes before that game ended, I don't think his team were a little worried at all whatsoever. I like SweetPatato's playing game #1 on the Bakasura, and here on their long shed, not much has changed.
2 for 2 for SweetPatato. He gets your MVP here for game 2. Imagine the damage that he could get done
if he was a regular potato.
If he was a regular potato.
I don't think that's the case.
I'm glad that you realized that was where I was going with that, because it's just objectively true all the time.
I could read you like a book.
No,
except for when you said AAA, I lost my shit.
Hey man, that's the way it goes sometimes. Coalition able to get the 2-0 victory over Strictly Business here, but don't forget, this isn't the end of the console league by any stretch. Take a look at the standings and see where everybody is. As you mentioned, everyone trying to catch up to In Control right now on that 4-0 mark, and top 1 is all you can really do. European race very, very tight between Insomnia and Freaks T1.
That could go either way. Keep in mind, folks at home, it's only the #1 seed from both Europe and #1 for North America that's going to be able to go to the placements for HRX.
Here's a little bit of a preview for you, or maybe a bit of a hint here for Evil Lemons. I think if they change their logo from a banana to a lemon, they might start doing better. I think it's
a little weird.
The anti-synergy there between their name and their logo that's throwing them off.
Because like the banana is so sweet and the lemon is so sour.
Yeah. Just can't have it happen. I like the idea, but it clearly hasn't worked. They're 0-4 so far. Change it up. No need to change up our esports schedule. It's on your screen right now. Esports Weekly, 10 a.m. tomorrow. I've got a feeling we've got a good show in store for you. SGS starts right after that at 11. You can find SGS on Tuesdays and Wednesdays starting at 11. SPL, 1 o'clock on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 3 p.m. on Thursdays and Fridays. Plus, if you want some Smite Minor League action, Thursday and Friday is the place to be at 11.
And all this esports schedule is showing you is what's happening now during the fall split in the online portion, but we also have HRX just looming around the corner.
Very, very close by, November 16th through the 18th. We're nearly done with the fall split already. It has truly flown by. hi-rezexpo.com. Get your tickets now. Trust me, you want to get those before they sell out. Same can be said for the after party. If you're going to DreamHack Atlanta and you don't go to the after party, you are making a life mistake on the same level as, I don't know, dropping your phone on your face when you're laying on your back. And that is really serious,
That
okay?
is scary. I've never had that happen to me, but just the visualization of you portraying that to me, can you do that for the folks at home?
Yeah, so you're laying there on your back, you're laying there, and then you're holding your phone like this, and then it just drops like straight on your face. And it's the fear as it's coming at you, like, because it's like inches away.
And that's
right?
like the spear of the mortal pain.
Exactly, and no one is prepared for that. Make sure you get your after-party tickets is the moral of that story in case that somehow got lost. Thanks so much for joining us today. For all of us here at Skillshot, production crew, casters, everyone involved, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Esports Weekly. But until then, you can go ahead and peach it.